What is up, guys? Randomonium here with another random normal game. This is a series where I will fill whatever role my team needs me to play. I'll play a different champion each and every game. So for this game, my team wanted me to be a jungler, and instead of playing a jungler that I'm not very familiar with, like I've been doing in the past, I decided to play one of my main junglers from Season 5, because I felt like that might provide a little bit more educational value. So I'll be playing Shyvana. Shyvana is definitely one of my favorite champions for the jungle. I feel like she is the best Devourer jungler in the game right now. She's just deals an incredible amount of damage, can get really tanky, and she just scales great into the late game. So she's not horribly good in the early game, but she just becomes an absolute monster in the late game. So I'm hoping to show that off with this game. Show you how once she gets State of Devour, her power is unbelievable. But as far as our team, we have a Shen top lane. I'll be Shyvana in the jungle, Xerath mid lane, Vayne AD carry, and a Nami support. Dropping this ward over here to watch for any invade from the Udyr jungle. Udyr definitely can invade people, so this is a great way to try and stop that level 2 cheese that a lot of people will do. The enemy team's got a Fiora in top lane, Udyr in the jungle, Lux mid lane, Lucian AD carry, and a Tam Kench support. So as far as matchups concerned, Shen just gave up first blood in top lane. I do feel like Fiora is probably the stronger of the two top laners, especially since she can, target his vitals. So I think that Shen will have to play a little bit more conservatively in that matchup. After I clear Raptors, I come down here to Scuttle Crab because I'm very low health. So I'm using the Scuttle Crab to regain a lot of my life back because the Scuttle Crab's not going to attack me. And then on top of that, if you smite Krugs, you get that stun. And if you use a hard CC like a stun on the Scuttle Crab, it reduces their resistances from 60 to 10, which allows you to kill the Scuttle Crab very quickly. So that's a clever way that you can, one, regain your health if you're low health in the jungle and you don't want to back, and two, kill the Scuttle Crab very fast. But continuing on with the matchup, Xerath versus Lux. I feel like Lux is like one of the premier top laners right now. She's got like an incredibly high win rate, and she's just got a lot of utility. She's got her binding, she's got her slow, her ultimate's very strong. Lux just does a ton of damage no matter where she is. So I feel like Lux definitely has the advantage, especially since Xerath is so immobile. But yeah, so I'm coming up here to top lane to try and get an early gank down. I feel like this Fiora is playing super aggressive. Yeah, you can see she comes in, tries to kill off the Shen, but I'm able to deal a lot of damage. That's a mistake right there. That was her being kind of cocky. But she thinks she can still get away, but I'm able to pick up the kill on her. So that kill was not because necessarily of something that I did great. It was mainly because the Fiora was way too cocky and allowed me to get that kill. So yeah, don't be cocky and allow somebody to pick up an easy kill on you. So yeah, I'm watching out for this Udyr. He looks like he's going to try and get a kill on the Shen. But yeah, Shen's doing the right job backing off. So once I create some pressure, I just go back to the jungle. I see that Udyr is coming down towards this part of river, so I'm going to ward up river to try and get some possible vision of whether he's going to go mid lane or back up to top lane. Looks like he's just clearing out the Scuttle Crab. You can see I just go back to farming up the jungle, trying to get the gold that I need in order to pick up Devour. Yep, that ward just spot right there, so I know that he's right here. But the Xerath is kind of playing too far forward, winds up getting binded and misses his stun, and that's a kill for them. So that's unfortunate. But anyway, continuing on with the lane matchups, in bot lane we have a Lucian Tam Kench versus a Vayne Nami. I feel like the Lucian Tam Kench is definitely stronger. Lucian has a lot better poke in the early game, and yet he does scale pretty well. If the Vayne gets a couple kills early on, she can snowball. She is kind of like one of those hyper carries that gets better and better as the game goes on. And I feel like Tam Kench is a stronger support than Nami right now, just because he's just so tanky and he's got so much utility being able to gobble up his AD carry anytime someone attacks him. So I'm coming down here to try and relieve some pressure on this bot lane. You can see Vayne and Nami are a little bit slow to react, but I use my Chilling Smite on the Tam Kench, and then Nami lands a great little bubble that allows us to pick up a kill on the Tam Kench. So that's really what you have to do in the Tam Kench lane, is you got to focus the Tam Kench, because if you try and focus the AD carry, he's just going to wind up just eating his AD carry. So a lot of times you have to focus the Tam Kench and kill the Tam Kench first, which is why that lane is so strong. So I see Udir's around here. He's trying to go for the Scuttle Crab. I feel like we can collapse. So I'm doing what I can to try and kill off the Udyr, but he winds up flashing. Xerath is able to secure the kill, and then just barely not able to get it. But we've got some really strong pressure. We know that if we can just push out this lane, then we can definitely get some damage down. Alright, so I've been giving attention to top lane, I've been giving attention to bot lane. My reason for that is I'm just going for the lane that is being the most aggressive. Whatever lane is pushed up, whatever lane is aggressive, that's the lane that I'm going to try and gank, because Shyvana really needs the lane to be pushed up for her ganks to be effective. As far as for the Udyr, what he should be ganking, I think that mid lane is actually a really good choice for him, because Xerath is just so immobile that Udyr can just run right on in, deal a lot of damage, get a stun off, and there's not much that the Xerath can do, especially with Lux having so much CC on her own. So I think that, yeah, Udyr will focus mid lane. I'm just going to be trying to relieve pressure in all of the lanes, but I really would like to get the Vayne fed, because she's going to be the one that's going to carry the late game. Nami's a little bit caught out, so I'm going in, trying to get some damage down on the Tam Kench. I don't know if I agree with that exhaust on the Tam Kench, but we are able to get the kill. That exhaust really wasn't necessary because we had the condemn anyway. It would be better if the Nami had saved the exhaust for the Lucian. We might have been able to pick up a double kill. But you can see Shen has come down. It really looks like we're going to set up a dive, so we're going to try and push this wave in as much as possible and then dive the Lucian. But yeah, we're taking a little bit too long to try and set up this dive, too long to push in this wave. So I've got my ultimate. Yeah, so right now you can see we got the condemn against the wall, so I jump in with my ultimate. Wind up getting the kill, but the Udyr shows up and he's able to get the return kill. It probably would have been better if the Shen had placed one of his wards right here. But at this point, the team needs to be backing off. This is kind of a no man's land, being in between the two towers, and you can see the enemy team rotates, the Tam Kench and the Lux come down, and now we're in a huge amount of trouble trying to escape. Yeah, both Shen and Nami in lots of trouble. And yep, looks like they both die. So yeah, whenever you try and do a dive, the dive has to be quick. It can't be something that's prolonged, and you want to try and avoid staying in this no man's land between the two lanes for as short a time as possible. I know they're going for Dragon, but there's not much I can really do, so I'm just gonna grab red buff. But I see that Xerath uses ultimate and almost bursts out the Udyr, so now I can possibly move in for a smite steal. Able to kill the Lucian and force the Udyr to back off, so that's going to allow us to pick up this dragon. So that was actually a very good play by the Xerath to use his ultimate on Udyr. Unfortunately, I don't have Devourer yet, so I don't get credit for that dragon kill. I don't get those stacks. But that's definitely what you want to do when you have a Devourer jungle, is you want to control the Scuttle Crabs, control the neutral objectives like Dragon, Baron, and the Rift Herald. So now I finally got enough gold for Devourer, just a little bit too late. So now my goal is going to be to really kind of push up, get the Scuttle Crabs, and then go back and farm my camps, and then gank when I can. Gank when it's opportunistic to gank. A common mistake that you see a lot of Devourer junglers do is they just AFK farm for until they get sated, and that's just the wrong mentality to have. You always want to be looking for ways that you can relieve pressure for your team, or looking for ways that you can gank for your allies. Because you can get stacks from kills and assists too. It's not just, stacks from jungle camps. So I really want this Scuttle Crab. I see the Udyr and the Lux rotating down, but I think that I have enough time. But yeah, wound up getting devoured by the Temkench, and then I wind up having to use my ult to try and get away. Wind up getting burned down. So yeah, that was me just being a little bit too greedy. I should have just gotten the Scuttle Crab and then done anything I could to get out. Maybe possibly come down to Dragon and then leap over the wall for Dragon with my ultimate instead. Lux winds up lining that binding and getting the shutdown goal. That's unfortunate. That tumble was just a little bit too late in order to get that kill. Yeah, this Shen is really chasing. No real point in trying to do that. Now he gets put back in the tower. And he does get the kill. He does want to train the kill, but that's not really worth it. So because Shen's dead, I'm moving up to top lane to try and deal with this Fiora. She's 3 levels higher than me, so I am not going to engage her. I'm not going to try and suicide to save this tower. I just want to make sure that she doesn't, continue to push. As you can see, I bypass these jungle camps. My priority is getting these Scuttle Crabs because it's worth 2 stacks, and I can always just retreat back to my jungle once I get Scuttle Crab to control. So pick up the Scuttle Crab, and now I'm just going to clear out blue side jungle. I'm pinging for Xerath to come grab blue buff, but he doesn't seem to want it, or he doesn't notice that I'm telling him that I'll give him blue buff if he wants. So that's unfortunate, but if your mid laner doesn't want blue buff, then you might as well just take it. So we see that Fiora is bot lane, so we want to push up top lane, and we want to grab this Rift Herald, because not only will it help us with the push, but it will also give me 5 stacks. So this is what we call kind of objective trading. We see 4 or 5 people in bot lane. So what do? We take Rift Herald, and now we're going to push up to get top tower. So I wind up warding up Tribush. Their team does have 2 teleports, and I'm not exactly sure what the cooldowns are at this point in the game. So I want to make sure that I'm watching for any potential teleports that can come in, or any potential rotations. So their team winds up taking our bottom outer tower, so we're going to trade with the top outer tower. And this is very effective if you can't prevent them from taking an objective. If you can't prevent the enemy team from taking an objective, you just want to trade objectives instead. So I see Fiora's moving down to ward, and this is like a huge mistake. As soon as she steps away from her tower, she's really vulnerable to getting killed. Shen does a good job landing his taunt. And then with my ultimate, it's a pretty easy kill for us. That's going to allow us to take this tower. So we take the tower, able to get some good assistance from my team. So I'm just going to come back. I'm going to try and farm up the jungle as much as possible, and try and get my 30 stacks as quickly as possible. Because that's when I'm going to start really being useful to my team. The whole point with a lot of Devourer junglers is just stalling out the game, making sure that your team doesn't fall too far behind in the early game, so you can get Devourer. If you can get to the mid game with your team being even, you should be able to pull ahead in the mid to late game once you have Sated, because Sated is hands down the most powerful jungle item in the game. It just takes, 20 minutes for it to reach that power spike. So I wind up getting burst out, and you can see I don't suicide onto the enemy team to try and assist my team. I'm going to back off, because there's nothing that I can do at 100 health. All I will do will just give the enemy team gold. So I'm not going to just needlessly sacrifice myself to, make sure that my AD carry takes one less auto attack. That's not going to really help the team. Our team winds up getting wiped a bit, and yeah, and they're probably going to take dragon, but there's not much that I can really do at that point. I kind of got burst out early on. I'm not tanky enough yet in the game to actually assist my team. But you can see, because I didn't die, now I can come in at full health, and I can actually possibly maybe get a pick on the backside of this. So Namid gets her gets the exhaust, and even though Lux lands are binding on me, I'm able to flash forward and pick up a kill. So that kill was only possible because I backed off. So instead of giving the enemy team 300 gold by just needlessly dying, I wind up getting 300 gold for my team instead. So yeah, I find out that Udyr took my jungle camps, so both my red buff and my Krugs are gone. This is actually really a smart way to deny a Devourer jungler, is just take the big camps and leave the small ones, because that just lengthens the amount of time before you can get a respawn on those jungle camps to get more stacks. Fiora's playing pretty aggressive, winds up getting stunned by the Xerath, but Tahm Kench is able to save her. Actually, pretty impressive by the Xerath. Lands out 2 out of 3. Would have landed the third one if it wasn't for the Fiora dash. So you can see I really pressure mid lane, and then what do? I go right back to the jungle trying to get those stacks as fast as possible. I'm really putting an emphasis on keeping Scuttle Crab control. So top tower is getting pushed in. Shen is in no position to pick up this CS, so instead of just letting it die to the tower, I'm going to try and just farm up as much as possible. And this is also really important to soak up all this experience, because a lot of times junglers, they have trouble keeping up in levels. So if you've got a lane where the minions are going to die anyway, you might as well just soak up that experience so that you can keep up with in levels with your team. Fiora's a little bit caught out. I feel like I can go in on her, so I wind up using my ultimate. Unfortunately, her team rotates faster than my team, so I'm forced to kind of back off. Main's able to pick up a kill on the Lucian. You can see I instantaneously come back in, trying to get as much damage as I can. Tahm Kench winds up swallowing the Fiora instead of me. That actually was a huge mistake. The Fiora most likely would have been able to kill me if he hadn't made that mistake. And then thankfully we're able to keep the Shen alive and pick up a kill on Fiora as well. That's going to allow us to pick up mid tower without too much difficulty. So you can see that I'm not sticking around to take this mid tower because my team doesn't need me. A really common mistake that you see with a lot of lower ranked players is they have like a single-minded focus as far as objectives are concerned. They'll only go for one objective at a time. Like after they have a team fight, they'll just, everybody will go mid, and try and get a tower mid. But you don't need all 5 people to take that tower mid. You could have one person go top lane and push the top lane wave, and you could have a couple people go mid and push the mid wave, and you could even have people go bot lane and push the bot lane wave, or you can steal all their jungle camps or pick up a dragon. So it's really important to think about how many people do you really need to take an objective, and is there another objective? Can I take multiple objectives at the same time? So like there, we were able to get that tower, that mid tower, and I was also able to pick up a scuttle crab, which is really vital for me to being able to get sated a lot faster. Lux yet again burst me out, so I wind up having to back again. You can see that I'm trying to get some magic resist early on with the Merc Treads, and I'm going towards picking up Blade of the Rune King to deal with the Tam Kench and the Udyr, and then I'm also going to go towards Dead Man's Blade so I can wind up moving a lot faster and wind up being able to kill the Fiora as well. So me and Shen are doing a lot of nice work, but unfortunately I get killed. Shen almost gets bursted out. Yep, and they wind up securing and killing him. So that was kind of an unfortunate engage. We wind up going losing 4 people, and they only lost 1. So definitely not favorable. So you can see that I haven't reached my power spike yet, even though I'm like 5, 3, and 6. Still not incredibly powerful yet. If you look at stacks, I'm currently at 25 stacks. So 5 stacks to go before I can be sated, and you'll see once I get sated how huge of a power spike it is. So dragon's up in 15 seconds, so I really want this dragon. That's something that's going to be really important. So I pick up red buff because I can get that slow. Actually, I wind up giving it to the Vayne. That's actually probably even smarter play. And I see that the Lucian is kind of caught out by himself, kind of pushed up, and I feel like I can probably kill him without too much difficulty. But Udyr winds up showing himself, get that kill on Udyr, and now Lucian's, really far out of position as well, so we wind up picking up the kill on Lucian. This pretty much secures the dragon for us. They're going to have to wind up backing off. Misplay by Fiora, tries to go in on the Vayne. Vayne just tumbles away, and then we're able to pick up a taunt and an easy kill. So securing that dragon allows me to get sated. So now I've got a pretty huge power spike. For those of you who don't know, the things that scale with Shyvana being sated is her E. If she lands her E, each auto attack she does 2.5% of a target's maximum health. That's doubled every other auto attack with sated. And then on top of that, she also picks up Blade of the Rune King, which winds up doing percent current health damage that is also doubled every other auto attack as well. So she's got multiple things that she scales off of that are percent based health, which allows her to really burst out, especially tanks. She's quite good at bursting out tanks. So you can see right there, I did a ton of damage to the Tam Kench in just a couple seconds. It's kind of a bad situation we're in. Shen winds up getting a really awesome taunt that allows Xerath to lay down a ton of damage, and we're able to pick up 3 kills. Vayne's kind of calling for the Baron. I don't think we're in a position to really take Baron, especially with this midway or this top wave pushing in. So I kind of soak up the wave until Shen shows up, and then I back off. that's kind of my personal opinion of things. Like being a jungler is like if the laner is not there, it's fine to soak up the wave, soak up the experience and the gold. But if the jungler or the laner shows up, you should let him farm his own lane. And then the reverse is true as far as stealing jungle camps from the jungler. Like if the jungler is on the is on top side of the map, and you need 50 gold for a really key item spike, you definitely should go for that. Definitely take those Krugs so you can get that item spike. So you can see Lucian uses his entire ultimate on me. Not able to burst me out with that, but with Fiora and Tahm Kench's help, he's able to pick the kill. So that's really the best way to deal with Shyvana is kite her. She's got her burnout, which is a movement speed on her W, but she doesn't really have any hard engage besides her ultimate to leap forward. So a lot of times, if she uses that ultimate to leap forward, then you can just kind of kite her from that point. The worst thing you can do with Shyvana is stay in melee range of her, because she can, even if it's like a 1v2 or a 1v3, if she's in late game and she's got Say to Devour and Blade of the Ruined King, she can probably win a 1v2 or a 1v3. So I've completed Blade of the Ruined King. I'm going towards Dead Man's Plate, and I'm going to probably pick up some more magic resist because this Lux is definitely carrying their team. So I'll probably go for Spirit Massage, because not only does it give me a lot of magic resist and health, but it also gives me bonus healing from lifesteal, which should help out the team. So Fiora winds up teleporting down. They wind up getting a double kill. Shen comes in, lands a nice little taunt. I'm able to burst out the Lux to kind of turn the fight. Once the Lux dies, she's really kind of the only one on their team that has a ton of gold, and that really allows us to kind of turn that fight in our favor. I'm not really sure why the Vayne's backing right now when we can, we might need her assistance to take that tower. Yeah, there she is. She comes up, helps us take the tower. I wind up using my ult to try and see if I can catch the Fiora, but Tahm Kench shows up, so I back off. This is definitely an overextend by Tahm Kench. It's going to allow us to possibly turn this fight, pick up some kills. Yep, I wind up using my Chilling Smite on the Tahm Kench. And you can see just how much damage I can do. The only thing the Lucian can do is try and kite me back. Lucian winds up having to use his ultimate. Lux uses her ultimate as well. But I'm able to burst out the Fiora before they're, before they almost kill me. So you see how powerful Shyvana is. Even though I'm low health, I'm still able to burst targets out very quickly. And as the late game continues, I'm only going to become more and more tanky and more difficult to kill. And that's really the strength of Shyvana, is that she does so much damage with her auto attacks, and yet you build her tanky so she can, tank for 5 or 10 seconds, which allows her to get down a ton of damage with her auto attacks. So I don't feel like we can get this inhib, so we kind of back off. But you always want to try and get whatever you can get. So I'm going to take all the jungle camps I can on this side of the map. And then as we back out, possibly pick up a Scuttle Crab as well. So that way they can at least get a dragon on the reverse side. Shen's kind of slowed, so I kind of assist him as much as I can. Wind up having to blow my ultimate in order to escape, but good rotation by the Vayne and the Xerath, allowing us to pick up another couple more kills. So even though I'm low health and I've got a lot of life steal and a lot of extra power when I'm in dragon form, so I can probably take the dragon solo, uh, even though I was, you know, very low health to begin with. Alright, yeah, so I've completed Dead Man's Plate, which is really vital for Shyvana because it gives her more movement speed, more ability to chase. And then I'm going into Spectre's Cowl, which will eventually be a Spirit Visage, which increases, you know, healing and regeneration effects and things like that, including lifesteal, which I'm picking up with Blade of the Rune King. So again, I'm continuing to just kind of farm up the jungle, make sure that I stay at an advantage as far as levels and gold is concerned. Maintaining scuttle crab control, and I'm constantly having my eyes on the mini-map, looking for where we can possibly take another tower. So I see that 3 people are here in mid lane, so I'm rotating down towards mid lane to assist with this fight. I wind up ulting into the Fiora, and I'm able to pick up the kill. Tam Kench winds up swallowing me, but that allows me to kind of be in melee range of the Lucian for a little bit. And this is a great rotation by the Nami and the Shen to pick up the kill on the Lucian and also burst out the Tam Kench. So you can see in all of these engagements, I'm getting to be really, really low health. Like I'm getting like 500 or less health in each of these fights, but I'm not unnecessarily dying. And that's really a lot of times that can be the difference between victory and defeat, is the fact that if I died, that would be a huge bounty that would go over to the enemy team. And even though they might not be able to get like an objective off that right away, that gold would allow them to complete their items sooner than they otherwise would be able to, and then they would possibly be able to win subsequent teams fights because they hit those item spikes earlier than they would have if they hadn't killed me. So a lot of people don't really consider that. They don't consider, they think, oh, you know, I can die, there's no objective that they can take even if I die. But it's really not about the fight now, it's about the fight 5 or 10 minutes from now. And you have to think about what are the item spikes that the enemy team is going to reach if they kill you. So I'm actually chasing for the Fiora, but I see that the Lux is caught out and she's really low health. So I use my ultimate in order to kill her. I know the Lux is around here somewhere, but I'm not exactly sure. Sorry, the Fiora is around here somewhere, but I'm not exactly sure where. With the Lux kill, Shen makes the call to go for Baron, which is, this is a decent call. I would rather it be like a bait rather than an actual going for Baron. But Tam Kench and Fiora make the mistake of trying to go for us without the rest of their team. If they had shown up as 4 people rather than 2, they probably would have been able to stop us and kill us. But because 2 of them showed up this way and then the Udyr shows up that way, it winds up allowing us to kill them very easily. And then now it's pretty much a guaranteed Baron kill. So my team's chasing Tam Kench. That's really just a distraction. There's no real reason to go after him like that. But once we secure Baron, yeah, you can see how much damage I can do to the Tam Kench with my combination of Blade of the Rune King, and then also proccing my E. Good condemn by the Vayne, good ultimate. I'll just pick up a double kill on her own. This Vayne is doing a very good job. And I'm able to just tank the tower because I've got so much health at this point. So you can see that I keep auto-attacking, but I let the Vayne get the CS, and the reason for that is I'm auto-attacking so I can lifesteal, so I can get back a lot of health. Like, I just regened a ton of health from all those minions, but I'm still feeding the CS onto the Vayne, because she's going to be the hyper carry in the late game. Fiora makes a dumb play of trying to suicide to save a tower that's already dead. You see this a lot of times. Like, the tower is going down no matter what you do. There's no reason to try and run in and try and save the tower when the enemy team is just going to take the tower and then kill you. So you can see, yeah, now just can take down towers really quickly. Even without the Vayne attacking the towers, we dropped both their Nexus towers in a matter of seconds. And at this point, I'm just showing off like how much damage the Shyvana can do, and how tanky she is. I can pretty much 1v3 these people at this point. Yeah, if that fight had continued, the Tam Kench would have ended up dying to that. So that would have been a 1v3 at the very end of the game. And that's really just how powerful Shyvana becomes in the late game. We're only at 36 minutes and I'm already able to 1v3 people. So if that game had been allowed to continue and I'd gotten, you know, a 5th or a 6th item, I would have been a lot stronger even then at that point. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm going to close this out. I'm going to show you guys the stats so I can really kind of emphasize the power that Shyvana has. So I wound up going 16, 4, and 14 throughout the game. Got 148 CS, which is quite a lot for a jungler because I picked up a couple of those really huge waves in top lane. And if we look down here, total damage dealt to champions, I ended up doing almost 45,000 damage, which was only about 1,000 damage less than the Vayne. So the fed Vayne, the Vayne who was 25, 8, and 11, who carried our team, did a really great job, did the most damage in the game. My tank Shyvana did 1,000 damage less champions than she did. That's how much damage Shyvana can do. And if you look at damage taken, the amount of damage that I absorbed, 42,000 damage absorbed. That's almost 8,000 damage, or actually, yeah, about 8,000 damage more than the Shen, and not quite double what the Vayne absorbed, but the only person who absorbed more damage than me was the Tam Kench at 48,000. So I did second highest damage in the game, and I also had second highest damage taken in the game. That's how powerful Shyvana is that if you play her right, if you play her safe, and you make sure your team doesn't fall behind in the early game, she will be at the top of the damage charts and the top of damage taken charts. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope I showed off how powerful Shyvana can be, even in this meta. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like the content on the channel, please subscribe. If you feel like I could have done anything different or anything better, or if there's any champions you'd like to see me play in the future, please let me know by leaving a comment. But I hope you guys have a great day. This is Randomonium, signing off.